Hello, everybody. I'm Lasse Mäkelä. I'm in charge of IR at Multitude Group, and I'm happy to go through the summary of our results H1 2023. First, looking at the key takeaways. We are on track with our 45 million EBIT guidance for year 2023. We had strong performance. Our EBIT increased 66% to 20.9 million, and our profits increased 251% to 7.5 million euros. Our strong cash position continues, and our robust payment behavior also continues. But before going into the results a bit more detail, just a reminder who we are and what is Multitude Group. So we are a profitable listed fintech company, and we have been creating success stories in fintech for the last 2 decades. We have 3 business units: Swedbank, Ferratum, and Capital Box. I'll go through those a bit more detail later. And we were founded in Finland in 2005, and our headquarters is still in Helsinki at the moment. We have an EU-wide banking license, and we have about 700 people in 18 countries, and we have about 400,000 customers. Our turnover in 2022 was 212 million euros, and we are listed in Frankfurt. We have a clear vision of building the most valued financial ecosystem, and our mission is to democratize financial services through digitalization, making them fast, easy, and green. And just looking at our ecosystem, so we have this growth platform on Multitude level, and then we have 3 business units. The growth platform includes the Multitude Bank, but also all the centralized functions, benefits to the business units, such as the regulatory know-how, the technological know-how, cross-selling opportunities, and funding, of course. And the business units which we have is Swedbank, which is the shopping and financing app. It represents about 6% of our sales. And then we have Ferratum, which is our consumer lending business, representing about 84% of the sales. And they're operating in 14 countries. And then finally, we have Capital Box, which is our SME lending business, representing about 10% of our sales. Let's go to the numbers. So the key message really here is that we are on track with our 45 million EBIT guidance for year 2023. As you see in the numbers, we have consistently been growing in both revenues and EBIT for multiple consequent quarters. And our demand and payment behavior has remained robust. And if we look at the business units, Ferratum has delivered a really strong performance. Capital Box is showing positive results after the turnaround situation. And Swedbank is still in its startup phase, making still losses. A new initiative, warehouse lending, which we started last year, has been showing quite nice growth. As you remember, warehouse lending is a sort of initiative where Multitude Bank is lending money to non-bank fintechs, non-bank lenders in Europe. And that has picked up really well. Multitude acquired 19.97% of Sorter, which is a Finnish financial services comparison platform. And that transaction was done during Q2 2023. And our focus obviously is going to be going forward with keep the fixed and admin expenses stable, and then shift our initiatives to accelerate profitability short, but also midterm in the group. And we keep on improving the processes in the centralized functions, in the central processes. And we are, of course, focusing on creating more value on our tribe level. Now let's go to the income statement in more detail. So our net revenues grew by 5.8% from 103.6 million to 109.5 million euros. And our impairment losses increased 6.5%, de facto in line with the top line growth. Our bank and lending costs reduced by 13%, personal expenses reduced by 6.4%, and our general and admin expenses by 17.4%. So overall, great result from our platform. Then the net finance costs increased from 9.6 million to 11.6 million, which is about 20.8% growth year on year. And this is, of course, due to the increased interest rates in the market. We're still looking at the profitability a bit more. So really EBIT increased 66%, representing 19.1% margin. And our profit before tax increased 210%, being about 9.3 million euros currently. And our profit increased 251%, and the profit margin is now 6.8% for our group. Just looking at the segment view of our tribes, I'm not going to go into the details of the numbers, but you see the numbers here, and just a few highlights. If you look at Ferratum, so revenues went slightly up, not much, but slightly, and credit losses were well under control, and the profitability was really high. Swedbank, there was a significant revenue increase, increased impairment losses, and then there was a reduction in other operating expenses. And on Capital Box side, there was a slight increase in revenues, but really positive trend in the financial performance, with EBIT improving almost 3 million euros from the comparable period. Just looking at our asset quality, so our impairment losses remained under 4%, which again manifests the high quality of our assets. Even in these sort of turbulent times, what we are living in, we've been able to keep the quality high. Then we look at the cost of debt and our funding structure. So as you know, we are mostly funded with deposit funding. We have 567 million deposits in the company, and we have 50 million euros bond, the perpetual bond in the company. And then we have about 50 million bond, which was issued here recently. And if you look at the cost of debt side, so the cost of debt has increased slightly, being now 3.01% in Q2 2023. Slight increase from the last year, but still sort of in reasonable boundaries. And maybe one thing to point out here is that Multitude Bank is contemplating a Tier 2 debt issue during H2 if the market conditions are favorable. So in case you are interested about this kind of products, please be in contact with IR on this topic. Then finally, once more, our key takeaways. So we are on track with our 45 million EBIT guidance for year 2023. We had strong performance, EBIT increased 66%, and our profits increased by 251%. Strong cash position and robust payment behavior continues. Thanks everybody for listening, and I'm really happy to answer any questions which you may have. Please be in contact with ir@multitude.com, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.